Hello, my friends. My name is Sharkey. I'm a pastor at Highrock Church in Quincy. Please don't call it Quincy, like with a C. Locals will eat you alive. It's Quincy, and it's Massachusetts. Why would you pronounce anything the way it's spelled? We love it here. This is our sanctuary, and there's not a lot of people here, and there haven't been for a while, but today is a very special day, and I'm so happy that you're joining me today. I can only imagine that you are here with me today to celebrate this momentous occasion, because today, it's my birthday. Yes, birthdays are funny things, right? We'll get to this in a little bit. This has kind of been going on for a long time. You know, on a birthday, you celebrate your life, your unique presence in the universe. There's nobody like you, Facebook wall post, you're a special snowflake, on and on. But birthdays are also a reminder that eventually our lives, kind of like this candle, will eventually snuff out. You know, the wick is only so long. And perhaps in times like these, with the coronavirus and everything, we're reminded of that in more profound ways than we'd like to be. So I'm here, 1 year closer to, well, you know. But my challenge to all of you today, and for myself as I begin another year, how old am I? Well, never mind that. Let's just say that the candles are about half as short as they were when I was born. The challenge I want to live into every day, and the challenge that I have for you, is that we can make our lives matter with this split-second life that we have. My life, your life, can move the heart of God. Can you imagine? Now, there's an obscure text in Scripture that changed my life many years ago. It's found in Genesis chapter 4. And in this text, we find a long genealogy of very old men. Now, I'll pick it up in verse 6 of chapter 4. It says, "When Seth had lived 105 years, he became the father of Enosh. And after he became the father of Enosh, Seth lived 807 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Seth lived 912 years, and then he died." Now, I think we can all agree that if you lived 912 years, that's about the most appropriate thing that you can do. You can die. There's not a lot of mourning going on at that funeral. Why did God take him so early? He was too young to go. No, he lived a good life. But I won't belabor the point. The next 15 verses continue on in a kind of monotonous fashion, and one phrase that's repeated more than any other is this: "And then he died." If you ever wanted proof that God's enemy is a big liar, read this passage. You know, back in Genesis chapter 3, the snake told Adam and Eve that they would not surely die. Nope, liar. Read in Genesis just a couple chapters later. But after a while, we come to this unique moment that so often gets missed. Verse 21, chapter 5, verse 21. "When Enoch had lived 65 years, he became the father of Methuselah. And after he became the father of Methuselah, Enoch walked with God 300 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Enoch lived 365 years. Enoch walked with God, then he was no more, because God took him away." Now, no other passage in Scripture has moved or motivated me more than this passage. This strange, obscure guy named Enoch that we know very little about, but his life was different than nearly every person who has ever walked this earth in this way. He didn't die. After his 365th birthday, poof, no more Enoch. It's not the last we hear about him in Scripture. The author of Hebrews writes about him in the list of our faith heroes of the Bible. Hebrews chapter 11, verses 5 and 6, it says, "By faith Enoch was taken from this life, so he did not experience death. He could not be found because God had taken him away. For before he was taken, he was commended as one who pleased God." Enoch somehow set himself apart as a person in contrast to his contemporaries. He was a lover of God. Somehow he moved the heart of God in such a profound way that God just scooped him right up. So, okay, Pastor Stephen, are you saying if you please God that you might not die? Well, let's just clear that up. That is not what this passage is about. But this passage does reveal a truth about God and humanity that we often overlook. God is so taken with us, so in love with us, that when we return our affections and our allegiance back to him, it moves his heart. Enoch was a heart of God mover. His heart registered with the heart of God. And verse 6 in Hebrews goes on to say that those who have faith, or better read, those who have allegiance to God, move God's heart to the point where God rewards them. It says he rewards those who earnestly seek him. Let me tell you, Enoch got the greatest reward of all, God's very presence. But that probably doesn't seem like a reward if we're not people who want to be with God. Friends, this is what I want for my life. For however many years or days I have left, I want to be a heart of God mover. I want it to be commended of me that I earnestly sought God. I want the same for you as well, because he's so good. Now, what does that look like? Well, I can tell you that God is less interested in you knowing a bunch of facts about him. What moves God's heart is when we seek him and know him. Now, I made this cupcake here from scratch. I could tell you that it's made of Hershey chocolate cocoa powder, 2 beaten eggs, 2 cups of flour and sugar, a pinch of salt, so on and so on. Do you know what really gets me excited when I make these delicious cupcakes? Do you know what really moves my heart? Is when somebody picks up this delicious cupcake and they just, Psalm 34 describes it so beautifully. It says, taste and see that the Lord is good. Sink your teeth into who he is. Let it be commended of you that you were the kind of person who walked with God, that you were the kind of person who earnestly sought him and wanted to know him. Like Enoch, we can be heart of God movers. And as COVID-19 has shaken up our lives in such a profound way, let's not waste it. Let's use this shake-up moment to shake us into new patterns of prayer and worship and mindfulness of our Creator. Sink your teeth into who he is and find out that he is so good. Have a great day.